False urgency involves creating artificial time pressure to force agreement or action without proper deliberation. While some situations genuinely require quick decisions, manipulation occurs when urgency is manufactured to prevent careful consideration of complex issues or to bypass normal democratic deliberation. Artificial time constraints on complex decisions involve claiming that complicated policy questions must be resolved immediately without time for proper analysis, consultation, or debate. Someone might insist that environmental policies, healthcare reforms, or economic changes must be implemented instantly, or the opportunity will be lost forever. Claiming discussion equals inaction or delay treats any request for deliberation, consultation, or evidence gathering as equivalent to opposing action entirely. This creates false choices between hasty action and complete inaction, ignoring the possibility of thoughtful action based on careful consideration. If you're not with us, you're against us. Ultimatums eliminate middle ground and force immediate choosing of sides on complex issues. This binary thinking prevents nuanced discussion about different approaches or concerns about implementation details. Demanding immediate commitment without reflection pressures people to agree to specific positions or actions before they've had adequate time to consider implications, alternatives, or potential consequences. This exploits people's desire to be helpful or supportive whilst preventing informed decision making. Using crises to bypass normal deliberation involves leveraging genuine emergencies or problems to push through policies that wouldn't survive normal scrutiny. While real crises sometimes require quick action, manipulation occurs when crisis rhetoric is used to avoid legitimate questions about effectiveness or implementation. Resisting pressure involves distinguishing between genuine urgency and manufactured pressure, whilst maintaining appropriate responsiveness to real emergencies. Question artificial deadlines and urgency claims by asking for specific explanations about why immediate action is necessary and what harm would result from a brief reflection. Ask questions like, what specifically would be lost by taking a week to consider this properly? Or, can you help me understand why this decision can't wait for proper consultation? Often, manufactured urgency dissolves when subjected to specific reasoning. Distinguish genuine emergencies from manufactured pressure by evaluating whether the claimed urgency matches the actual timeline of the problem. True emergencies typically involve immediate threats to safety or irreversible harm that increases with delay. Manufactured urgency often involves problems that have existed for months or years but are suddenly presented as requiring instant solutions. Insist on time for proper consideration of complex issues by maintaining that good decisions on complicated matters require adequate information and reflection. You can acknowledge urgency while still requesting reasonable time for due diligence. Ask what harm would be done from brief reflection when pressured to agree immediately. If someone can't explain why a few days or weeks of consideration would be problematic, that suggests the urgency may be artificial. Don't let pressure replace careful thinking by remembering that the most important decisions benefit from reflection, consultation, and consideration of alternatives. Pressure tactics often work by making thoughtfulness seem like indecision or obstruction. You might say something like, this is clearly an important issue that deserves careful consideration. I want to make sure I understand the options fully before committing to a particular approach. This shows engagement whilst maintaining appropriate deliberation. The key insight is that legitimate urgency can coexist with proper deliberation, whilst manipulative pressure typically seeks to prevent careful consideration entirely. True emergencies usually have obvious reasons for urgency that don't require high pressure tactics to explain.